welcome to another Money Morning Routine. So the first thing that I ended up doing today is I went online and I filled out my checking account expense tracker, updated my spending with that. So 3 transactions came out for that. The HBO Max for $18.36, my Peloton subscription for $47.56, and then I had a $100 investment contribution to my non-retirement brokerage account that comes that's invested every single month like clockwork on the same day, same amount into the same fund. So that is the only thing that has happened with my checking account spending, but I have a ton of cash spending, so let's look at that. So here is my cash envelope, and as you can see, a lot of different receipts from over the weekend. Mondays tends to be a little bit more for me just because I am updating my spending from over the weekend. A lot of eating out. I did a grocery shopping run for things that were not really important. Felt like it was one of those grocery runs. Okay. So we have a Fred Meyer's yolks, and there's my long Fred Meyer's receipt. All right. And then, so the first thing I do is I count how much cash I have left in my envelope. So let's start with that. So $256, let's write that down. So $256. All right. I also saw a $5 bill in there that I'll use for my $5 challenge, but I'll do that later. Right now, I'm just trying to get my receipts taken care of. So set this aside. So the first receipt we have, let's see, we have 110, 112, and this one happened on 112. So let's start with 110. So 110 yolks, and you can see that I spent at yolks $101.26. So I'm going to round up to 102. So minus 102. Okay, leaving me 601. And then on 112, we have Chipotle. And for Chipotle, I spent $45.14, so I'm gonna round up to 46. And then it looks like at Fred Meyer, I spent the $2.99. So 112 Fred Meyer minus $2.99. Now I also want to count my $5 bill for my $5 challenge, stick this in my $5 challenge jar. So today is the 13th $5 challenge minus 5, that leaves me $251. Okay, so that goes in my $5 challenge jar. The next thing that I want to do with my food envelope. So right now I'm completing a savings challenge, the first savings challenge in the Budget Mom Savings Challenge Volume 1. Now I'm not going to show the challenges because this is a paid product, but I need to save, or I want to save $21 to complete this challenge. Now people ask me all the time, Miko, where do you get the money to complete these savings challenges when your budget's already finalized and doesn't include this? Like in my budget, if we go back and we look at my budget for January, you can see nowhere on my budget does it say savings challenge anywhere. It's not allocated anywhere in my budget. Here's how I get the money for these types of challenges. So these savings challenges are always funded by my decision and intention with saving rather than spending. And here's what I mean. So right now in my food envelope, I have $251 left. Now I could say, okay, I budgeted $251 for food, which means I'm gonna go out and spend all $251 on food. But just because you budgeted and pulled out that much to spend in cash for that category doesn't mean you have to spend it all. And this is a lesson and something that I try to remind myself all the time. Just because you budgeted for it, or maybe you pulled out the cash to fill your cash envelope for a certain category like food, doesn't mean you have to spend it all. So I am always challenging myself to save rather than spend. Now, I look at 251 and I say, okay, we are halfway through the month. If I were to take $21 away from the amount that I have left, that would leave me with $230. Could I get by the rest of the month on $230? Sure. Would it possibly be, a little challenging, but can I get creative and make it work? Absolutely. I have things at my house that I can eat. Absolutely. So it's something that you have to ask yourself, is saving rather than spending this money on its dedicated purpose, which is food, realistic in my life? Is it something that I could do? Would it be a challenge? Yes, but that's the point of it. So I know I can go the rest of the month on $230, not a problem. So I'm going to pull $21 out, and I'm going to put this towards my savings challenge, okay? Which means we have to track it. So on 113, write this down, I'm just going to put savings challenge minus 21, leaving me $230. All right, so my cash envelope has been fully updated. Now I'm gonna stick this in my envelope. You can see I have this little envelope that I'm saving for my challenge. Okay, I'm gonna add this to my envelope because I did that. All right, so now that it's all tracked on my cash envelope, right, I have an updated balance at all times, I need to go ahead and put it on my expense tracker because this is what I use to close out my budget. So let's do that. Okay, so now all of my cash spending has been fully updated. Okay, so I got updated with my checking account spending, my cash spending. I was able to put $5 towards my $5 challenge. I was able to contribute and finish the first savings challenge of 2025 from my Savings Challenges book, Volume 1, which is really exciting, and that is my money morning routine.